What's good everyone, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be talking about running with fatigue. Now how did this come up? Why did I want to talk to you guys about this? Well, I was sitting in the car last night, wrapping up my shift, and I thought I've got to go for a run, and I really don't feel like it. And why don't I feel like it? Like, I think about it all night. I'm looking forward to going for this run, and yet I didn't feel like it at the end of my shift because I was knackered, I was tired, I was fatigued. And so that's what we're talking about. You know, there are some good things. There are definitely some good things about being fatigued, and you've all heard about accumulated fatigue or cumulative fatigue and how that benefits us as runners. So we're going to get into a few things about that. First, I want you to think about this question of the day. Do you run with fatigue? Do you start a run every day feeling fresh, or are you fatigued every day? Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think some of you are going to be fatigued every day before you start your runs, and I think you're going to kind of snap out of it as the run goes on, and others you're going to be a little fresher. Yeah, so that's it. Guys, my name's Matt. If this is your first time here on this channel, we talk about all things running. If you like running, if you like being fatigued, then go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, consider doing so right now and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Okay, with that said, first I'm gonna go for a run, and then we're gonna get into it. Alright guys, that was a really good run. I slept well last night, so I wasn't actually fatigued going into the run, which is a really nice feeling because most of my runs are pretty fatigued. But there was a level of fatigue, and that was because of the weather. And you know, we're at the end of October, and it was 76 degrees this morning. 76 degrees is 24.44 Celsius, and it was a very muggy 94% humidity. So yeah, that kind of made things a little more difficult, but the run was still pretty good. I ran the first 7 miles with Harmony, and then I ran over to the trails and I logged another 5.1 miles solo, and that 12.1 miles is 19.47 kilometers. It was an average pace, nice and easy. An average pace of 8:55 a mile, which is about 5:35 a kilometer. Can you guys hear that osprey screaming in the background? You can see on the screen right now that my heart rate was an average of 119. Now that's pretty low. The effort seemed more than what I was putting out, so I was actually surprised to see my heart rate remain so low. But because of the humidity, because of the temperature, it was making my level of perceived exertion seem a little higher than what it was. But pretty good run, very happy with it. Yeah, it's always nice to run with Harmony, and yeah. All right, so let me get back into the house, and we're gonna finish talking about running with fatigue. And you know, this whole video, I just wanna know about you guys. I wanna know how you guys deal with fatigue. Is it something you deal with on a regular basis? I wanna know, write in the comments. Okay, in we go. So yeah guys, great run, and actually I wasn't fatigued today. I got fatigued as the run went on, but when I started the run, I was actually feeling pretty good. And that's because, for once, I got enough sleep, and I notice a huge difference in every single one of my runs if I get enough sleep before the run. We'll get more into that in just a second, but you know, I'm moaning about being tired on my run. Let me just sneak into Harmony's ballet studio in our guest bedroom, and let's see what she's up to. There she is, doing her ballet, and I can't even believe it. I can't complain about being tired because Harmony works out so much training, and when I try and do a few ballet moves, it kicks my butt for like the next couple days. But that's a good time to tell you that there is always going to be someone better than you. There's always going to be someone that recovers from a workout quicker than you or can do things quicker than you. So just like as a side, don't compare yourself to others, all right? You rock. So I know I asked you before I went on my run if any of you experience fatigue, you know, on a daily basis or at all. And it's a silly question because I know that every single one of you does, because it is nearly impossible to recover completely in 24 hours. So if you're running or doing some kind of activity every day, then, or even if you're doing workouts and you have a day in between, it's very difficult to fully recover. So you're going into that next workout a little tired, just a little tired from your previous workout. And that's where cumulative fatigue comes in, and it's actually beneficial. It's beneficial because when we're training for some kind of event, or if we're training to actually get better or get faster or run longer, it's very difficult to run at the right intensity that simulates a race pace. Does that make sense? You can't run a 5K at 5K pace in order to train for a 5K. You break that up. So you would do specific 5K workouts. So perhaps you would do some hill sprints on one day, then maybe take a day off before you went in and you crushed a workout with 8, 10, 12, insert any number, 400s. You're going to be going into that workout of 400s a little tired from your hill workout 2 days before. And that's good because it will teach your body how to respond to the fatigue that you're going to experience at the end of a race. And it's exactly the same with half marathon, marathon, ultra distance training. There aren't many people that when they're training for a marathon actually run a marathon in training. And when they do, or if they do, they certainly don't run it at their goal marathon pace. It's too hard to recover from. In order to practice that feeling at the end of the race, you need to go into your workouts a little tired. So although there is a lot of science that goes into running and training, it is still very much an art form. It's towing the line between doing too much and doing enough to actually benefit you and make you better, make you progress. So what happens when you go on the wrong side of the line? I told you, you're towing a line. If you're on the wrong side of the line, that can lead to horrible things. Overtraining, just a feeling of just constant tiredness, not fatigue, but you'll know the difference when you hit it, and I hope you never do. You'll probably get definitely more injuries when you're overtraining, a lot more soreness, a lot more cramping. You're gonna find that your easy runs are more difficult. They're gonna feel more difficult. The RPE, the rate of perceived exertion, is gonna be more difficult on your easy runs than they were before. Probably gonna notice your performance dip. You might not be hitting the splits that you did before. You may even find that you can't finish your runs that you actually set out to do. And you may be compromising your immune system if you are overtraining. You might be more likely to catch a cold. So I realize I've been talking about training for certain races and how you accumulate fatigue and it actually benefits you going forward. But we can't do that all the time, right? Even if we're not training for a race, we cannot just keep building and building and building. There needs to be recovery time. Now, when you are training for a race, you've got to leave these cumulative fatigue workouts to, once a week, once every couple weeks maybe. Otherwise, you're going to be digging yourself into a hole that you might not be able to get out of. So let's just go back to my personal experience with fatigue and why I feel fatigued so often, at least in the beginning of my runs. There are ways to get over it. There are ways to feel better. There are ways to eliminate the fatigue on a daily basis. One of those ways is by getting enough sleep. And you've heard it here before. You've been watching this channel for a while. You know that I don't get enough sleep. And that's why at the end of my shift, when I go for a run, I am feeling pretty bad. I'm feeling pretty fatigued and I don't feel like going for the run. However, I've still got this mindset that whenever I go out and I'm running and I'm tired, I've got this mindset that it's actually benefiting me. So if I go out and I'm running a marathon, if I'm running a 50K, if I'm running a 50 miler, which who knows, those are kind of my general goals going forward in the next 12 months or so, that those runs are benefiting me. So I will go out for a run feeling tired because My body needs to know how it feels when I run tired. And you already saw from my run today that I wasn't tired because I actually got enough sleep. I slept more than enough. I think I slept like 9 hours last night. So when I go out for a run after that, I notice a big difference in my level of fatigue. I don't go into my run feeling fatigued. Okay, other things you can do to feel better, to get rid of fatigue. So we already mentioned sleep. I want you to eat well. I want you to drink enough. Gotta stay hydrated. I want you to warm up and cool down before and after every run. That makes a big difference. If you don't do a warm up before your run, you may start that run feeling fatigued. Now, you're probably gonna start to feel better as the run goes on because you're naturally warming up. But if you do a specific warm up before your run, you can eliminate feeling fatigued in the first mile or two. Don't forget about mental fatigue. That's a huge thing. If you run the same route every single day, your mind's gonna get knackered. Your mind's gonna get tired of it. So mix things up. If you don't have many routes around where you live, try running one of your routes backwards. It's surprising how different it is. And you know where you're going, but it messes with your mind. And it's like a fresh route. This video has really been a bit of rambling of me going on about being tired, but I did want to talk to you guys about being tired, and I guess I wanted to make this video because I'm more interested in what you guys do when you're tired. How do you deal with fatigue in your running? How do you move forward feeling fatigued? Do you skip a run because you're tired, because you're feeling fatigued, or do you push through? Let me know in the comments below. Guys, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate you staying all the way to the end of the video. If you're not already subscribed, again, do so right now. If you got any value from this, if you run when you're tired, give this video a thumbs up. All right guys, be kind, be happy, run well. I'll see you next time.